and welcome to another edition of Hands on Wisconsin. I'm John Mino.
And I'm Dirk Bartolazzi.
And we are coming your way from another Bartolazzi's house, Dirk.
Yes, Dirk.
Dirk is Ben's brother. We tried to explain all that a few weeks back. And that would be your...
Husband's cousin.
Okay, so cousin.
Cousin-in-law.
Your cousin-in-law.
That's the word.
Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. And one of the reasons we wanted to come here is because it's really chilly today. And they got an awesome two-way fireplace.
Yeah, it's nice and warm.
On their patio, on their deck. You showed me a picture of this probably a month or so ago when we were doing something else. It's like, that's one of the coolest patios I've ever seen.
I love this house.
Well, it's got all of the cool features that we both really like.
Beams, interesting crates that they use for the vanities.
Aren't those awesome?
The hardwood floors, just the really unique touches that a lot of homes that are new construction just don't have.
Well, if you want to buy it, folks, it's for sale.
It's for sale.
It's for sale.
And I can't afford it. So
me neither.
No competition
Could we
here.
combine? Each get a wing?
Yes,
I don't think that'd work, huh? No. All right. Well, either way, we're going to give you a little tour of this awesome place right here on Silver Quail. Here it is.
Instead of just having a porch or a deck, make this outdoor space feel like an expansion of your living room. And then our fireplace is a two-way fireplace, which it gives you this little like a chalet feel, like you're almost like you're up in a cabin, but you're really not. You're at home and you just step outside, and that feels like it takes you to another place.
So some of the features of the kitchen that I told my husband I have to have is first the pot filler. This is awesome, especially if you have a large family. Another thing, which this is awesome, is the electrical outlet inside the island. You plug in whatever it is you're cooking with, and you don't have to worry about the dangling cords and the kids running by and spilling stuff all over the place and hurting themselves. The other thing was the big sink without any separation. I have no problems. I can wash the pots, I can wash everything without it being an issue.
So when you get in these big timbers from these barns, you see the amount of time and effort and labor they put into making these timbers and cutting out the mortises and shaping the tendons. So I wanted to showcase that on my mantle by using them as supports. Basically look like they're coming out of the wall and supporting the larger mantle. We needed a hallway to get to the bedrooms. So instead of just putting a floor with a drywalled ceiling, I thought it would be really neat to use some barn timbers and then put some tongue and groove 2x6s and just make a catwalk out of that. So it'd be exposed wood rather than just a drywalled ceiling. You don't have to spend a lot on the material. All you have to do is put things together that work well together, and then combine those thoughts and just make it look like something that you want in your own home. My wife found some apple crates that she wanted to make some shelves out of them, and I saw them. I said, "Hey, what if we make a vanity out of it for our half bath?" She said, "What? How are you gonna do that?" I'm like, "Oh no, just trust me, it'll look cool." And she did not believe me. And then finally put it together, and I built it and I put it in, and she's like, "Wow, that really did turn out nice." The master bathroom is one of the pieces that you can get really creative and do some really neat things. And I really like that whole Tuscany type feeling. So with like the arches and the stone, the natural stone and things like that. In a master suite, instead of just having a bedroom, we decided to flare it up a little bit and throw a fireplace in for a little ambiance. And then obviously throwing in a nice rustic barn timber really, it helps to warm up the room. It is a little bit of a tribute to show how much effort they put into things and show appreciation for, kind of paving the way for what we do today.
I love the bathroom.
I know.
So she found those crates for
Right.
$8 a piece.
$8.
$8. Maybe she could do the quick tip this week.
I know how to make a
That would be
great
really
vanity
cool.
out of crates. And they use them for shelves as well in the bar room.
Yeah, I love the fact that people can incorporate that old stuff, and
Right.
that's the first time I've ever seen a crate vanity.
But now you've looked around at stuff like that. Like I know you're big on Craigslist. They can be pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, like $45 I think just for one of them. So that's why you have to use auctions and things
Estate
like that.
sales and
Yeah.
barn sales.
Because I
and-
mean, you can get some of that stuff for a couple bucks depending
Yeah.
on where you go.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a place in the town of Freedom that I can't say enough about. It's a little church St. Peter's Church, and it goes all the way back to 1869. They've built a multi-million-dollar new school and church, but they did not want to lose any of the heritage that they'd already had built in for 140 years, 150 years.
Yeah.
And it was almost all just volunteer help. It's like I look at the work of these guys, it's like, oh my gosh.
And this isn't their full-time job.
Not at
they're
all.
Volunteers. So
All
it was
volunteers. And most of the guys just retired guys who said, yep, that's just what we do.
cool. Yeah, neat.
It's pretty cool. Here it is from the town of Freedom. This story isn't as much about the impressive St. Peter Lutheran Church in Freedom as it is about the first, second, and third St. Peter Lutheran churches in Freedom. It all started in 1869. The first church basically built right next door. A new one was built in 1889 and lasted until it was destroyed by fire in 1907. Within 6 months, a new one was built, one that served the congregation until the last few years. It was built in part by an incredible outpouring of volunteers, many of them first and second generation immigrants from Germany. When this chapel became overcrowded and outdated, the call went out for a new church. And once again, that call was answered by an army of volunteers. Volunteers such as Mel Sell.
At the first meeting that I attended, I could hear the angst in the voices of the members who had been here for a long time. They didn't want to leave this building. And so I took it upon myself as my mission to try to move as many memories and incorporate as many memories as possible.
And with reclaiming as their theme, nearly everything in this chapel that could be taken out and moved has been. While some of the items are pretty obvious.
It's the altar that would have been built for when they moved into the church in 1907.
Others not as obvious, yet extremely ingenious.
So these were once 1907 church pews.
Yes, they were. We were able to make some small tables like coffee tables and end tables with some of the remaining pew wood.
Everywhere you look, new life for remnants of a church built nearly 110 years ago. Actually, Mel found a way to incorporate the very first structure ever to sit on this site.
The table is made out of barn beams from the old barn that was here.
And when you say here, you mean like right here, right?
Right here. It was built in the late 1860s.
Isn't that cool, preserving something like that from 150 years ago?
It's a lot of fun.
The setting is a little different, but the scenario the same. A congregation that turned out in full force to build for the future with homage to the past.
Man hours, I think we had a sheet on that, but it was probably in excess of 50,000 hours. I mean, when everybody just pitched in whatever we could. Our general contractor was awesome and did some fabulous work themselves, but like I said, people take ownership of it, and we're just so happy to do whatever they could do.
When we come back, we pay a visit to Oconto County and some homegrown talent. That's next, as Hands On Wisconsin continues.
Welcome back to Hands On Wisconsin. Mino, when you're
Yes.
driving up to Crivets and
Yes.
you see these big, beautiful barns with these paintings on the sides,
Yep.
what do you think they are?
I've never known what they were. I didn't know if some, like the farmers themselves, if they create these things or the history about them. And Oconto County is loaded with them.
Loaded with
Marinette
them.
County, those areas, and they're works of art.
Many of them are done by a group of wonderful people who you had the opportunity to meet, who are incredibly proud of what they do, and they're works of art, and they should be proud of them. They're pretty incredible.
Absolutely. They're in the town of Gillett, and there's a great history that goes along with each one of them.
Right.
But you want to talk about some people that work with pride? That's this bunch
Yep.
in Gillett. The workers are perfectionists. The work itself is precise. The finished product, a sight to behold for miles around, or at least for as high and long as the barn may stand.
Actually, the first barn quilt was installed in 2001 in Ohio, and it just kind of took off from there. And now there are actually barn quilts in, I believe, almost all of the 50 states. And it's really become quite a project nationwide.
And while it may have become a nationwide phenomenon, the workers at New View Industries in Gillett have created masterpieces that don't have to take a backseat to anybody.
As you know, when we first started the program, I thought it would be great for them to drive around and see what they did, and it's just really become so much more. It's a wonderful project. We start by meeting with the family who would like the quilt, and they give us a history. So before we start even painting, we read the history, so we really get a sense of what we're doing and for who. And they're all wonderful histories and stories all over the county.
The goal of this project, to do more than display artwork, because it's also about showing respect for community heritage.
So they know that this is the one that is the one that's grandma's quilt, or it might have been, a 5-generation farm and that type of thing. So it really gets them involved in a personal touch on it. And then they basically do everything from the graphing the design, taping, all the paint, doing all the painting, and now doing the touch-up work.
The owners supply the background. These talented workers supply the artistic talent.
The designs of the quilts really run the gamut. Some of them design something themselves, some of them pick something out of a book. We just had a quilt order that the person said, you know what, we're really not that creative, so can you pick something? So that was kind of a fun one for us to do too.
An endeavor that keeps on giving and growing.
We actually installed our 50th this year, and we average about one a month.
Well, we started it in 2013, and basically Lynn and I got this thing off the ground. Now our Oconto Electric Co-op is involved. They donate all the labor and the equipment to install them. New View Industries got on board to paint them, so it's just a wonderful community project.
That was such a treat to visit those craftspeople. They're awesome, aren't they?
Awesome,
Just
really.
fantastic.
Good people, good hearts, and great work that they do.
And great talent, you bet. So next time you see one of those big barn quilts, you know a little bit about the background of that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, we also paid a visit to a special place in Oconto because the White House this year will have a little slice of Northeast Wisconsin along with it. Where do they have it? Oval Office? Or no? I don't even know. Have you ever been to the White House?
No, but I've been to
Me neither.
Washington, D.C.
Oh, close enough.
Close enough.
Where
I
do
think
they
I
keep
looked
their
at it.
Christmas tree in the White House?
I don't know, I'll Google.
Okay.
Go on the Google machine.
All right,
and
we'll
ask.
find that out.
Okay.
But anyway, it was grown in Oconto. Paid a little visit to Whispering Pines to find out a little bit more. Whispering Pines Tree Farm is legendary in Northeast Wisconsin for its quality trees. Well, this year it was chosen best in the state, which put it into contention for best in the nation. Lo and behold, they were the winners. Top spot in the country. Which means that in a couple of weeks, this tree will be displayed for the entire world to see in our nation's capital, specifically the White House. When you start saying to yourself, I think we got a tree that could be a contender?
Well, I thought I always had a couple, but boy, I'll tell you, when you get to the competition, it took 4 years to learn really what you had to do. You need a pretty doggone good tree, very, very good tree. You're up against the best of the best.
Can you tell early on in that tree's life that it's got potential?
Maybe a little bit, but actually the tree that I picked, I probably started out with 20 of them, and that wasn't even one of the 20 until about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before I actually picked it. Because the other trees look better, but they change as time goes on, just like people look a little different.
No, you're actually going to be in Washington, right?
Yes, yeah, we were invited to present the tree to Mrs. Obama, and that will be on the day after Thanksgiving.
How exciting is that?
Oh, it's very exciting. To be invited to the White House, what an honor.
Now, when you go there, you're going to, bring some cheese type things or something, Packer related, anything like that, just to let them know where you're from?
I never really thought about that. That's a good thought. I don't know if they accept food because you never know with that, but something that Packer related, probably.
I think they need something.
Sure.
How proud are you just of over the years, all that was it, 20-some years you've been doing this, Dave? How proud are you that you guys are being selected for this and representing, in a lot of ways, the state of Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah, I'm very proud. I'll tell you what, I got a great crew here, and that's really what makes a big difference. They're a great bunch of guys that help me out, and all the women in the gift shop here. We all work as a team, and that's all part of their honor, too. And I'll tell you what, to win that, that's like winning the Super Bowl. It's like a gold medal at the Olympics. It doesn't get any better.
I think that's quite an honor. Congratulations, Dave, and the entire gang there at Whispering Pines. Actually, that's where we get our trees from every year. They also have a little stand, actually not a little stand, in Alloway, right on Webster, for like the last 6 years in a row. That's where we've gotten them from. Never had a bad one.
We got ours there once, and they have like carriage rides that they had, and horses and food, and my kids loved it.
They do it up right.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was very neat.
You know, you hate to see winter come and all those sorts of things, but isn't that a phenomenal time of year? I mean, that's so much fun. Go and get the tree is the fun part.
It's the magical, especially with kids, I think. You know,
Yeah.
it's something they look forward to. It's an entire day event.
Yeah.
You know, you pick it out, you cut it down, you...
How much fun would it be for Christmas out in a place like this with a fireplace?
I would love that.
Wouldn't that be great? I'm going to bring my little hibachi out this year. It'd be the same thing, having all the family around a little hibachi. No?
Not the same.
Not the same?
Similar.
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 Okay, it's our UP style of...
Oh, God.
All right. Hey, when we come back, Milissa, our correspondent, will join us, and she's going to introduce us to a lady who makes some of the most amazing things out of what she picks in her backyard.
Yep.
You like this kind of stuff, don't you?
Just anything that is organic and grown or
Yeah.
rehabbed.
Yes.
So this is going to be... I'm excited about this one.
We're up your alley. All right. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
Hi everyone, we are here in the town of Morrison today at a really cool place, kind of a hidden treasure in the area. It's called Auroras Apothecary, and I am here with the owner, Milissa Edelbush, who also goes by the name Aurora. Thank you for being with us today. I am one who really lives an organic and holistic lifestyle, so this is something that really rings true to me, is the fact that she grows her own herbs right here and in products that we can use for the body. Give us an overview of what your product line has to offer.
I think when you go to a normal herb shop, you're getting a lot of herbal products that you're not really sure where they're coming from, but it's nice that we grow all the herbs and we make all the products.
How did you get started doing this?
When I was 14, I really started getting interested in herbs, and my grandfather used to take me down into the woods and the fields, and he would show me what everything was. I think he had also told me what things were good for, but I could only grasp so much as a teenager. So today I teach a lot of classes, and one of my biggest classes that I teach is identification of wild plants. So I really want to teach people how to utilize the plants around them. Being an herbalist is all about experimentation. So I got the toothache plant and I wanted to extract all the goodness out of it. Most of the time when I'm extracting any medicinal properties out of a plant, I'm doing it with an alcohol base. Alcohol really pulls that medicine out. But I also wanted to see if I could get it into an oil form. So I tried both. We've got the vodka one and the olive oil one. And I tried them both when they were finished. And of course, the olive oil one, which is the one I wanted to work, doesn't work. But the vodka one works really good.
Tell us more about the history of your building here in Morrison.
So our building that we have here in Morrison was the place to go in Morrison. It's the old general store, and it's a pretty big building. We have big ceilings, I think are about 15 feet. We've got the tin ceilings, which are just beautiful. And this is the oldest working hand-over-hand elevator in Wisconsin right now. There was only one way to get a piano up here. It's a good thing we have an elevator.
So this is the garden.
I'm in front of my favorite herb. This is our elderberry trees. So we sell fresh elderberries, and I make elderberry cold medicine. This is our tea garden, which I've already harvested. It's getting pretty late in the season. But everything in here you can smell and taste. So we've got some great apple mint.
It smells delicious, and you can smell them all just standing here. It's wonderful.
So yesterday I harvested our comfrey for our apprenticeship class. We have a year-long class, and we start with botany, and then we go into horticulture, so you know how to grow your herbs and how to plan out a herb garden. And then we start going into identification. So I take them out into the woods and the fields. We do identification of wild plants, and then we do identification of cultivated herbs. And then we finally start getting into medicine making.
And you're actually opening a new location. Tell us a little bit about that.
We are opening a location in Appleton. We're going to be located at 1218 South Madison Street, so it's right off of Oneida.
I had a lot of fun today exploring Aurora's Apothecary here in the town of Morrison. We hope you can come check it out too for all of your natural products, everything from the kitty catnip bubbles to natural bug spray. So come and check it out. Back to you, John and Aaron.
I think that's really cool. And one of the coolest buildings you'll ever find, built in 1905. That'd be fun to just have and just like convert into whatever you wanted, as they did basically.
Yeah, a she shed.
A she shed. I like that. I want to start growing some of those kind of herbs she has there, though, and making some stuff.
I bet you do.
What do you think? Well, thanks once again for being here, folks. We've had a lot of fun here at Dirk and Danielle's house. It's for sale if you want to buy it.
Visit us on our website, benbardo.com, and go to the featured properties site, and you can check the property out there.
There you go. Thanks again to Zach Peterson behind the camera. See you next week. Ready?
And you're on camera.
Here we go.
Hurry up.
What are we doing again?
Oh, so I'm doing it.
Okay, you're
Oh,
doing
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, I'm doing it.
Welcome back to Hands On Wisconsin. I don't like it. Our next story is all about those big, huge barns. No. You were the one who interviewed him. Stay with me here. Work with me here. Aaron, have you seen my glasses? And he looks like he's shuffling in slippers with a rope. Aaron, have you seen my glasses? Not Quick Trip,
No,
not buying bread.
Yeah. You're the one that wore 2 different kinds of socks today, and I'm the weird one. Okay, one other thing though about what. No, it's not.
Oh,
that was no. I think we should start that one. Let's start
do
over.
this one again.
Ready? Any idea what it would be? Is there anything in here?
You're gonna cut that out, aren't you?
No, I'm not that.